The national chairman of the PDP, Uche Secondus, will not resign or be sacked after leaders today reached an agreement over party internal crisis as party look forward to an October national convention. And former Bayelsa State Governor Seriake Dickson is being grilled by the EFCC over funds spent during his tenure as governor of the South state of Bayelsa. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbaloye in Lagos. We have so much to unpack for you tonight and the latest developments in the People's Democratic Party on all that happened today. You will be put in the picture. So let's get started, everyone. But before we get into the PDP matter, let's first tell you about the former governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Seriake Dickson, whom the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says is being at the headquarters in Abuja answering questions about the management of funds during its tenure as governor of the South state. The anti-graft agency says there have been some petitions against Senator Dickson, which the EFCC says it is investigating. The anti-graft agency says the senator has been with them since about 11 a.m. today at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja. Before we get into our conversation tonight, let's tell you more about some of your political roundup stories.
The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has been speaking on the government's intervention to reflate the economy following the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at a meeting in Abuja, Mrs. Ahmed explains that part of the plan is the introduction of the 2021 Finance Act, which targets a reduction in the cost of governance, improving human capital development and enhancing revenue generation.
We must sustainably address the long-standing challenge of domestic revenue mobilization.
Nigeria has threatened to review its relationship with Indonesia if assailants of the diplomat arrested and manhandled in front of his official quarters on August 7, 2021 are not brought to book. The threat was issued as Nigeria's ambassador to Indonesia was summoned to give a detailed account of the situation.
We will have full consultations at the highest level and decide what next steps to take, including a review, of course, of our relations with Indonesia.
The Adamawa State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has set up a 7-man disciplinary committee to look into an alleged audio making the rounds on social media, where uncomplimentary comments were made against the leadership of the party at the national level. According to the publicity secretary, the material widely circulating on social media emanated from a stakeholders meeting of the Yola South local government executive of the party. The party observed that some of the words and remarks in the audio clips are most unfortunate and requires further investigation, hence the setting up of the 7-man investigation committee.
The State Working Committee has resolved that the APC caretaker chairman, Yola South local government, Alhaji Suleiman Adamu, who is a member of the State Executive Committee, be suspended pending the outcome of the investigation by the 7-man disciplinary committee.
Before we get into the PDP matter, let's tell you about what is happening in APGA. So today, an appeal court, Kano Judicial Division, today set aside the judgment of Jigawa High Court, which nullified the leadership of Victor Oye as the chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. The 3-man special panel led by Justice Mani struck out the Jigawa ruling and upheld Victor Oye as the duly elected chairman of APGA. Meanwhile, the national chairman of APGA, Mr. Oye, has applauded the judiciary for standing firm in defense of the country's constitution and its statutes. reacting to the unanimous judgment delivered by the three-man panel of justices of the appeal court in Kano, Mr. Oye described the judgment as a watershed in Nigeria's political history. Take a listen to him.
For us in APGA, we leave everything for God to judge each person according to his deeds. We give God the glory. We thank all our supporters, millions of them across Nigeria who stood by us. We are confident that APGA will win the November 6th Anambra governorship election. There is no doubt about that. And that's why we are receiving all the kicks, all the buffeting, because they know that APGA will win the election. And we believe in free, fair election. Once the election is free and fair, APGA will win. But we want to assure those people who think that Anambra State will be like Imo State, where somebody will come and write results. It's not going to work. And I want to use this opportunity to call on INEC to do the needful without further delay by replacing the name there by court order and put the rightful candidate there. That's what INEC should do today to redeem its image. It shouldn't wait for the next 24 hours to do so. The court has affirmed the leadership under me, affirmed Soludo as the candidate of the party. So what else are they waiting for? Let them go ahead and do the needful so that the tension will begin to cool.
Seems the tension is all around the political scene from one party to the other. Let's look at where we saw a lot of tension. For a second day, there was a protest at the headquarters of the PDP, the Wadata House. Those anti-seconders protesters again emerged at the party headquarters in Abuja, where they're asking for the removal, the sack of Prince Uche Secondus, the chairman of PDP. Well, after all of those drama that happened today, the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party gave a marching order to the chairman of the party, Mr. Uche Secondus, to immediately constitute a planning committee for the party convention, which has now been brought forward from December to October this year. Earlier on, there have been protests at the national headquarters of the party, where the voices of the pro-Uche Secondus and anti-Secondus protesters ran in the air around the premises. Present at the intervention meeting were some serving governors, which include governors of Delta, Bayelsa, Adamawa, and Taraba, amongst others.
This meeting has agreed that immediately the neck of the party should be convened for the party to constitute the National Convention Planning Committee, and the early convention should be held latest by the end of October. Also, that the zoning committee for the party position should also be constituted by the same National Executive Committee to be held immediately. So we thank members of the party for holding out, for your prayers, for your support, and well-meaning Nigerians who have been waiting patiently for the resolution of these issues. You can see the chairman of the BOT is here, you can see all the governors are here, and you can see the national chairman of our party is here. To God be the glory.
Interesting scenario playing out. But let me allow you to look at what the recommendations, the resolutions are. It looks so much that the PDP time is running against the party, and now these are some of the resolutions for the party. They're proceeding with an early national convention, 2 months early, and a strict adherence to the constitution, traditions, and practices of the party in finding solutions to all the problems. The bottom line tonight is that the party will hold a national convention to be constituted, the committees to organize that to be constituted by Uche Secondus. Uche Secondus will not leave as a party chairman until after October, when his time should end in December, or it might come earlier than planned. Let's get a sense of what all of these mean, and we're going to get the experience of a member of the BOT. Also, we have a member of the NWC, but let's speak first to a leader of the party, a member of the Board of Trustees of the party, Chief Bode George. He joins us from Ikoyi area of Lagos. Thank you so much, Chief George, and it's good to see you again. You sent your position to the party, which I got a glimpse of, on how and what you want the party to think about and to do. Did the outcome of today's meeting and the resolution align with what you wanted?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, there were cacophony of voices. Some are saying you should resign, and some are saying you shouldn't resign. And I said, look, since we have the convention ahead of us, the best procedure, which we had done in the past, is to now set up a national convention committee that will handle all the congresses from the world all the way to the national convention. So none of the members of the National Working Committee will have any hand in running the congresses. That will bring some peace and will stabilize the PDP platform. It's a great day for PDP today, and I want to congratulate both the NWC members and the BOT members who contributed, who worked assiduously to make sure that we got to this point. Because, you know, there is the old saying, there's always a tide in the affairs of men. But when you get into that kind of a tide and you are able to rise above it, it's a measure of your competence. Nobody says you will never have disagreements, but you can disagree without being disagreeable. And I am extremely, extremely happy that we have come to this conclusion, because it's a rebirth for our party today.
One of the things you said in your position to the party, you said the current National Working Committee is a shameful symbol of avarice and greed. Can you expatiate more on what you meant by that?
You know, my paper was meant for discussion at that meeting. It wasn't meant for public. As an elder of the party, you don't go to the public or to the market to wash your dirty linens there. I didn't know how it got to you, the press. It was meant for that discussion. And I will not go to the extent of expanding on this on the public. There is no organization in the world that you will have and they won't have their low side and the high side. And whatever I have put here, they were meant for the members at that particular point. That was my interpretation of the way they had been, but I won't go further than that. Now, the final conclusion is what we should get to the public, and we'll be ready to now tell them that they have an alternative to the APC government.
In your 14-item position that you made known to the party, out of those 14, at least 6 or 5 of them are about the National Working Committee and your grievance about what it stands for. Part of what you said is also that the NWC is rudderless, visionless, stripped of any moral anchor. You also describe the NWC that it has abused and trampled recklessly upon our sacred ground norm, our party constitution. You also said that you need to speak truth to power. For someone whom Nigerians are hopeful of him speaking truth to power, tonight millions of Nigerians who are watching you tonight, we want to understand what you mean. In any case, this NWC will terminate at the end of October. But for your party to move forward, can you tell Nigerians what you mean by a visionless, a rudderless leadership of the party?
You see, when I was putting my pen to paper, I was thinking completely about telling the truth to power, to be able to bear my mind as an elder, as a leader of this party, and as somebody who served for 10 years at the National Working Committee. I saw the platform of our party wobbling, and you cannot do anything meaningful when your platform is not stable. So we decided to tell the truth to power, and I put my pen to paper and listed my opinion. But they were meant for the meeting. I didn't know how it has gotten to the public. But what I would tell Nigerians is this, that today is a special day in the annals of the PDP history. It will be marked as a special day that the elders haven't considered, haven't seen what is going on in the party, decided to save the party, because the founding fathers had certain mission, and that mission is so vital for the Nigerian state. We must have been given very adequate, solid issues on national matters, and we did it. It became so petty and so rowdy, and then when you disregard the ground norm, the constitution of your party, then what are you doing? You are translating it to as if it's a private company. We saw this, and I would like to go further into the debris and the filth. The important thing is that today will be marked as a special day in the annals of our party, that the PDP has woken up. We will now go and the NEC, the NEC will now approve the members of the National Convention Committee, who will now midwife the next sets of managers of the party. And I am sure that we will not make that mistake again.
So, Chief George, they were right in any case, those who are protesting and asking for Uche Secondus and the NWC to leave. Some of the things that you have said, those who were saying that they should leave, they were right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the point is, it's not a private company. It is not a private company. We have the ground norm. We have the constitution of the party. Once you start driving yourself away from the norms, people will call you to order. People have called them to order, telling them, please stay within the laws. Don't throw the laws into the dustbin and create your own laws. But they didn't listen. You know, they didn't listen. So when you now have party members coming to demonstrate, to protest at the party secretariat in Abuja, it means they are getting fed up. And I want to thank God today and thank all the elders, including the members of the National Working Committee, because this discussion centered on their performance. But I am happy that what we suggested has been approved by this body, and we should proceed to the NEC, the NEC. They should have a committee of elders to immediately set up those who will man the convention, the congresses, and they must be people of high-level integrity, people who are known to be dedicated, committed, and loyal to the party, who will serve assiduously and serve selflessly to make sure that we can convince the Nigerian electorate that we are a better party to manage Nigeria. It starts from home. If they see us that we can manage ourselves, fine. We have a crisis that had been on ground for a while, and we now we have risen above that pettiness, and we are ready for the 2023 election.
So, I wanted to talk about what is at the heart of this whole issue. So those who are of the opinion that it was some of the governors who want him out, are they wrong or are they right? Are some of the governors behind the call for the sack of Uche Secondus?
You know, when you conclude that some governors, the governors don't own the party. I told you, when I put pen to paper, am I a governor? But I am a committed member of this party. We saw what was going on and that the party was wobbling. The platform of PDP was wobbling. In fact, if we have catapulted, we would have gone straight to the bottom of the sea. So elders saw it, they listened to it. We had seen their modus operandi. The way they were managing the party was not helpful. It wasn't. Their attitude was like, we can do whatever we want and they are damned. No, that's what brought everybody together. Of course, the governors too. They know. They watch. Is their party, is the platform on which they were elected. So for everybody, genuine people who really mean well for the party, today was a glorious day, and it will remain in the annals of our books as a special day, because they rose above pettiness, they rose above private interest or self interest, that it is the national interest of all members that we should put into play. So I am extremely very glad and happy that they were able to get all those young people, the youths, because where is their future? If the APC government could do all they had done, well, we can't find any useful plus, then our party must get up. Many of my friends in Lagos are asking, what is going on with your party? Where are you? You sound like you are as if you are dead. But today, I am happy those governors and those other leaders who came together to save this party. I'm sure this is also another experience that in future, when people are given the opportunity to run or manage the party, they will realize that the Constitution is a grown-up. That is where everything starts from. And we must make sure that we hold it and perform within the confines of the party. And not believe that you have it all, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. No. And there is always a day of reckoning. There is always a beginning and there will always be an end. I told them when they were shouting about, hey, come and resign, don't resign, you should stay there or not stay there. I said, look, that's not the way. Fortunately, the convention is round the corner. Let's all sit down quickly, set up the National Convention Committee, who will be mandated by NEC to run all the congresses all the way to the National Convention. And the people who will manage the congresses as members of this National Convention Committee will have nothing to do with members of the working committee. They can remain there if they want. And if they want to contest, they must resign and go back to their states, you know, to renominate them.
Chief, before I go into some of the resolutions made today and get your take on where that will lead the party, let me get your view, because for those who think that the governors, you have also mentioned it tonight, that some of the governors may be behind the call for the sack or removal of Uche Secondus. Is there any inclination whatsoever? Is there any shred of evidence that you can put your finger to this particular fact that maybe the governors want him out?
No, it's not. No, I'm saying to you that it's not the governors. The general membership got fed up I am not a governor, but I am a concerned member. And I have been there. We have run the party. And the way they were managing the party falls short of seriousness. So, as a concerned member, I was thinking, should I leave the party and go home and rest? Because I won't join any party. After PDP, I'm going home. Let us save the party. So don't let them start throwing tantrums and saying, oh, it's the governor, or it is that governor. It's not. Forget about being the governor. The people who are protesting, are they governors? No. We are completely in Lagos dissatisfied. The majority of our party members in Lagos are completely dissatisfied with their style of management. And we have cases of what they did here in Lagos State. And for sure, what we are saying, we told our P members to please calm down. There will be a day of reckoning. And the elders came together. You know, the Board of Trustees, their responsibility is to make sure that they douse all the embers of destruction. And they have done it. So, kudos to them, both governors and non-governors and ordinary members and members of the National Assembly and all that. So it's not something personal now. The collective responsibility is not. They didn't meet the high mark expected of them, and so thank God we are now close to the National Convention. If any one of them, because you see, there will still be zoning. Do we maintain the current zoning, or are we still going to do a rezoning? So these are serious issues that are ahead of us. So I tell everybody, please calm down. They should cool their tempers. Let us do what is just, what is fair, and what is equitable. That's all.
All right. We're due for a break. But when we come back, we'll get your closing thoughts on this matter, especially the resolution and what your thinking is about the way forward. Technically speaking, the Constitution stipulates how long the NWC members should stay in office. If they go in October, what is the implication? And the resolution of today, what are the implications? We'll get those final thoughts from you after this break. Plus, we get an NWC member, Dr. Emmanuel Agbo is the PDP Deputy National Secretary. He will be telling us what the plans of the NWC will be in moving the party forward, the task of setting up those committees. Is he a soft landing for Mr. Secundus? More to talk about tonight. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Our earlier story, one of the stories we told you about, the former governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Seriake Dickson, who have been invited by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The EFCC says he's been with them since 11 a.m. today and answering questions over the management of funds during his time as governor of Bayelsa State. The anti-graft agency says there have been petitions against the senator, which the EFCC is investigating. But the former governor has since reacted, and he says that about 2 weeks ago, I received an invitation from the EFCC to clarify some issues relating to asset declarations as alleged by an NGO. So those are some of the positions from the former governor. Let's get back to our conversation about the PDP leadership and what happened today at the party's headquarters in Abuja. Chief Bode George, a member of the Board of Trustees of the PDP, has been talking to us. Our closing moments with Chief George now. There are implications to what happened today. It does mean that Chief or Prince Secundus will not be able to end its tenure in December as envisaged by the party's constitution. If it does end in October, what does this mean technically or legally speaking?
Oh. You know, the by the doctrine and the practice of the party. If elections are held, right, and the NEC, which is the next most powerful to the convention, decisions at the convention remain sacrosanct. And in every convention, there's always a caveat saying that because you don't hold convention every now and then, you don't hold conventions regularly, convention will empower the next level, which is the NEC, will tell NEC to continue to manage the party. If NEC now decides, you know, the decision today was a discussion, and they have come to a conclusion. That has to be taken to NEC for approval. So even if your term is 4 years, and the NEC decides that your 4 years will be 3.5 years, it remains sacrosanct. Do you understand what I'm saying? In the interest of God knows what has happened or what is going on, the party has sat down, members of the party, the elders of the party, the floor members of the party, that look, we cannot continue like this. Something must happen. And so they decided there will be a convention, and that the working committee members, you know, if they want to contest, they have to resign and go back to their various states, and they can represent themselves to contest. But to save the party, the cacophony of voices, the hula balloons that are going on, we must make sure that we hold and stabilize the platform called PDP. You can see so many people who are dissatisfied, are jumping ship, they are leaving the party, they are telling us, and we know with all the ills Nigerians are suffering presently, hardly would you hear anything from the opposition. So what is going on? That alerted a lot of leaders and said, let's see, why is the party like this? What kind of management are we having? And they came to a decision today that look, the most important thing is, yes, they are still there, is go and set up a national convention committee. They will also have input there, because it is NEC that would approve any nomination they will have there. It is not the National Working Committee that has absolute right to do it. No. The NEC is the next most powerful body to the National Convention. So, for us, whether it is October or it is December, it has nothing to do with the price of milk.
All right.
The important thing is that you have stabilized the party and you can now move forward. And new people will come, you know, hopefully, maybe some of them of the National Working Committee can be represented by their zones. Why not? But the thing is, the state of the party, the wobbling platform, we have stabilized today.
All
so
right.
It's a glory day for us.
Chief Olabode George, a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, thank you so much indeed for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for also inviting me.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we also can give you some updates on the questioning of the former governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dickson, who is also reacting. We understand that he has now left the FCC office. He's been there since about 11 a.m. today, and he's been reacting to what the petitions look like and explaining what those issues are. We give you more updates and details of that story on our news bulletin at the top of the hour. Let's go to our Abuja studio now, where a member of the PDP's National Executive Committee, PDP Deputy National Secretary, Dr. Emmanuel Agbo. He joins us from Abuja studio. It's good to see you, Dr. Agbo. Thank you so much for coming today. I know you are, the leadership of the PDP has come under intense pressure in the past few days. But how does the outcome of today's meeting come to Prince Uche Secondus? By the way, we've tried to see how we can speak to him directly or for him to explain his own side of the situation in all of this. And we do hope that a public invitation like this we do to get him to speak exclusively to us on Channels Television and tell Nigerians what some of these issues are. But tell me, Dr. Agbo, how does this come to the NWC and some members of the National Executive Committee?
Thank you, Sharon. I first of all want to state very clearly the position of the National Working Committee with reference to the developments in the past few weeks or days that it crescendoed or went to its zenith, and the resolutions of the 13 governors of the party in their meetings of yesterday and today, and the final meeting as convocated by the BOT this evening. We want to state very clearly that, like our elder did say, there are in every organizations that are human times where certainly there will be bubbles in the cup of the tea. But like yes, he really again opined, it's your ability to actually weather the storm that states to what level of, or what kind of manager or management you are offering. We want to state that the leadership of the People's Democratic Party is all-encompassing, inclusive of the NWC, our leaders both in the National Assembly, leaders of the party at the Board of Trustees, our elders, our leaders in the forum of our PDP governors, former governors forum, former ministers forum, and all the other organs of the party. The way and manner that they rose to the occasion is a clear and eloquent manifestation of the desires of the People's Democratic Party to bring to a halt the totality of the maladministrations that Nigerians are today witnessing. And we too want to place it on record that their commitment in the last few days to ensuring that we have a stable political party, the PDP, is welcomed. We deeply appreciate it, and we give thanks to everybody. As long as a political party, or for that matter, is concerned, constitutional vehicle for legitimate acquisition of political power, the contestations within are varied and diverse. And as you approach elections year, they become much more manifest than before. And for you to think that such will not cause any form of ripples at all within the family will be an understatement. If you look around other political organizations today, other political parties within our political space, you will appreciate what I am saying, that this is not just akin to the PDP alone, notwithstanding that people must have to look for reasons to justify their actions. that being said and done, what is cardinal for us, what is prime to take away from all of this is the collective resolve of leadership of the party in all organs of the party to have a stable political party that the ticket will win elections across board, north, south, east, and west, and that we give Nigerians that credible alternative to at least experience a lease of life at the end of the 2023 general elections.
All right, Dr. Agbo.
And so, like you did ask, I think our position in the NWC is that what we experienced in the few days is, in all sense of it, normal. But what has come out as a result, after much discussions and interface between the leadership and all organs of the party, and the resolve to the resolutions are before you, you have them already, they're in public space already. I think certainly it is totally in contrast to whatever were the intentions of those that actually didn't maybe see scenarios and situations beyond the noun. The thereafter of every political organization is much more important than every form of contestations in the noun of it. And with what we have,
let's quickly get
has come out.
Let's get some issues trashed quickly. Yeah, let's get some issues trashed quickly. Now, first and foremost, the BOT and the governors have come out, and some of the stakeholders and the NWC have reached this agreement as against the initial plan to hold the convention in December. Will the NEC need to ratify this position of today, or what was agreed today stands as law?
Well, Sharon, let me put this straight. The last convention was in 2017, December 9th/10th. That in no way states that this very convention must be in December 9th or 10th. There was a transition from a caretaker committee to an elected national working committee. Today we have a national working committee that will transit into another national working committee. And that is the expectation of the party for seamless transition of political power, such that we will be able to, as a platform seeking to govern Nigeria, tell them that we have, first of all, we have enough of internal democracy, enough of rule and law and order within the party as a platform for us to be able to seek Nigerians to give us political power. And that's all that played itself out today.
All right,
and so talking about whether it's going to be in October, November, or December, as the case may be, it's procedural. Yes, it's been said, NEC will be convocated. There are a number of days statutorily that you have to approach the Independent National Electoral Commission. All of this will be built into the processes, and there are standing congresses that certainly will have to be put behind so that all states and all their delegates will make appearance in the next convention. Nobody will be shut out. And so, yes, I think what we should take out is not in the in the date as if it is sacrosanct or anything. They said late December, November, what do you call it? October. the date as it is will come out in clear terms, because the organ of the party that will actually give that approval is the National Executive Committee of the party.
Okay,
Once,
so Dr. Agbo, quickly, because we have so much issue to talk about, quickly, why has it, because I'm coming to some of the issues that have been put up in the last few days that led to the protests and all of that. Why has it become much of a trouble? In the last years that one can ever remember or put a finger on, your party has never had it good with national chairman of PDP ending their term in office. Is it, what would you call it? Why is it a problem that the PDP national chairman will always have a very troubled time ending their tenure?
Well, Sharon, I will not want to here and now tell you why, if previous national chairmen in the past ended their tenure or never ended their tenure. But if your observation is anything to go by, then you will appreciate why there is this school of thought that now have to say there will be no resignation, so that we will go to convention at the and there will be a complete tenure. We must cultivate the culture of leadership of the party running out their tenure, because as a political party, like every other organization that are human, there could be one fault or the other, but I tell you, it's all part of the total processes of deepening democracy and strengthening such organizations, in this case, our political party. And I think what has happened in this Uche Secondus, whatever, has shown that as a party, we are resolved that moving forward, our political leadership in the NWC will continue to now stay their term from beginning to finish and run congresses up to conventions, then hand over, so that it becomes a culture, it becomes a norm.
I'd like you to react to some of the allegations leveled against the NWC, some of which include that the party, NWC, is visionless. It has abused and trampled recklessly upon the sacred party constitution, that the party is a shameful symbol of greed. These are some of the words used by Chief Bode George in that communication sent to the BOT this morning. How do you react? And some of those who went to the party headquarters today at Wadata House with placards saying that the party leadership is corrupt.
First, let me state this very clearly. From the beginning of the BOT meetings to the end, I, Dr. Agbo Emmanuel, Deputy National Secretary, was in attendance. At no point in time was there any document like what you have that you are reading out of before that August body. At no point in time was any of those accusations brought before us. And I cannot come to the press and somebody is bringing something to me in the press in a meeting that I attended that was not there, and then come and begin to react to it. Much more, I think he said he was in his process of thoughts while trying to put pen to paper. That, if I understand that English very well, is to say that, well, it went over and above board, since it wasn't even as much as mentioned or being discussed. But as an elder of the party, he knows me as a person, that I respect him as a person very well. I continue to uphold him as not just a political leader, a father. Well, but since it wasn't for discussion at the meeting, I don't think I want to react to it. Honestly, Shewun, it will, because he himself almost as good as said, come, I don't know how it got to you. It's with, he came close to say it didn't even exist.
No.
Withdrawn.
No,
and
that's not true, Dr. Agbo. No, he said it's a communication sent to the BOT that was meant for the BOT, but I have a copy of, I'm privy to it. He didn't deny that he wrote it. He said these were the things that he thought that should be discussed.
I am not saying,
so, but I am just,
get me right,
just a moment, Dr. Agbo. So let's get it clear. And I like, since there is a representation of the NWC here today, those who, if you say you're not privy to this particular document, what about those who stormed your office today and yesterday, and with those placards who wanted Uche Secondaries and the NWC out of office? Those grievances, those who said that the party is not being run well, your reactions to that?
If the decision of the leadership was a confirmation of the placard carriers, it won't come out the way it did come today. And so, leadership decisions are not taken on the basis of placard carriers. Because you and I know that in the political scenario, anybody can be called to do anything. And this time we must be sincere. At the leadership level, with 13 solid governors, notwithstanding the very enormous demands and responsibilities of this office, they're left to be part of trying to profile a solution. And what has come out is you must complete your tenure, run a national convention, and at the end of which, yes, like Chief himself said, I won't be surprised if at the end of the day, the South-South represent him, or he is not represented, or he doesn't even count. All those things, I think today, a whole day is too long a day in politics. And all right. You see, you don't just judge when you go into either crisis resolution. It's not a grandstanding aspect of it that you see or use. And I want to believe that the elders of the party that met, previous governors, previous ministers, present serving governors, all of them, only all, and then our chairman, BOT, leadership of the National Assembly, both in the Senate and in the House of Reps, all right, couldn't have sat down and haven't seen the totality of whatever was supposed to have been brought forward and asked that, okay, continue to, in the next 2-3 months, so that to run up the election, to convention, if there were extraordinary substances that needed to ask him to. These were men of substance. All right. So, leaders in their own right, that not only will they speak truth to power, but that they can even ask, okay, look, you please give way.
Dr. Agbo, we need to go now. We are totally out of time.
What I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, I do, but we need to leave it at that. And I must sincerely thank you. Dr. Emmanuel Agbo, PDP Deputy National Secretary, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you, Sharon. Happy to be with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye for now.